So right here we have a American persimmons blossom. I don't see any more up there. They kind of pop out. Takes a week at least. Remember last year I was getting them too, and they just kept popping out for a while. There is one graft on here. That tuck, yeah, it's right here. Nothing on it. My son did a bunch of grafts on this. That's the only one that lived. Got nice growth. It's on the sun side. I don't even remember which one it was that made it. So I told him to graft a male on here, but he couldn't get a male piece of wood this winter. I have been planting persimmons quite regularly for the last 4 or 5 years, and I finally got some more to grow. They die back, and they don't, they come up out of the roots and die back, come out of the roots. Some just die completely. Now I've got 3 of them that made it through the last 2 winters and didn't die back. So I've had to plant a lot of persimmons to get another one to go. We're hoping that one of these is a male. It's going to take a while. This one's got nice color. I hope it stays that color when it's older. This main one here, it actually had multicolor leaves, but now this year it didn't have it. Kind of variated. Here's one right here. So the whole tree was almost like that. Now they're pretty much standard green. That's the tree. Pretty nice one. Probably about 12 feet high now. We have a lot of mulberries going on here. This is just one branch. This tree is loaded with branches full of berries. This big mass of a tree, mass for my backyard, is an imperial honey locust. And it's not a spectacular fruiter. According to the literature on it, it'll fruit every couple of years, every 3 years. And I don't know if the pods are anything special or not. But I bought this as a nitrogen fixer for the food forest, and I plan to prune it. See, the food forest is all around behind it here, and it's getting to be to that age now where I want to prune it, that size, and I'm going to do something a little bit different than just prune it. I'm going to top that thing right there at the junction. I'm going to leave a couple little lower branches growing. And I have something special over here that's growing. I actually have 3 of them growing here. This is a honey locust that was grown. It's a seed of a honey locust that was grown by Hershey. I forget, John Hershey is his name. And he found that the pods of these honey locusts have 36% sugar content, before it all dries out. That's in the mucus surrounding the seeds in the pod. And I'm going to take, there's one over here that's thicker. I had a 3rd one here that was really doing good, but my son decided to do some weeding, and he weeded it. And it's coming. It's got little bitty green shoots coming on it now. And maybe I can still take this one here. And when I graft it, see, it's got a nice thick base on it. I'll leave that tube off for a little while. But yeah, there's plenty to take a top off of that. That's plenty thick. You can use that as a scion wood. And I've got another one over here that's fighting in amongst some other trees. This is the one I was really going to do something with. Right in here. So next late winter, I'll cut this up, a couple pieces of wood, and I'm going to graft it to that imperial. Right there, there it is. And since we're on the topic of honey locusts, I want to show you this one. This one is the real thing with the real thorns. Look at that. I could highlight that thorn there. Very sharp. The old timers used to use these little thorns as little nails. That's how tough they are. So this has got a pretty good growth pattern going to it too. I don't know if this is any special tree for pods. I bought it just because it had thorns. I bought it and I call it an old-fashioned honey locust tree. This is a pawpaw tree. This is the biggest, bushiest pawpaw tree that I planted. It's got these big tropical-like leaves. I just love this. Look at this tree. Still no fruit. This was planted in 2013. You can see I got quite a few pawpaws planted back here. This is the bottom of the property where it's wetter. I've tried apple trees and other trees back here and they don't seem to live, but these pawpaws, they like it. There's one there, right there, over there, another one there. That one actually died back a little bit at the top, but it's come back. We had a lot of water this year, and I would just dig a little 1-inch deep hole and I'd have water in it. That's how much water was back here. It survived all that water. Another one here. Another one here. And there's a few little ones scattered about. I keep planting a couple of them every couple of years now, just for diversity. So they got to catch up. And if they don't, that's okay too. This right here is a choke cherry tree. We're going to get to taste a couple of choke cherries this year. Right there, past the recent artichokes, is a redbud tree. That's for pollinators. Off in the distance here, I have a basswood tree, or linden tree. That's for pollinators. This right here is a big nut hickory. I don't know why it's got these score marks on it. Hopefully it's not going to die. I was kind of wondering if those are lightning strikes or maybe those are like frost freezing. Got too cold in the winter and then it cracked. It's got two of them on it. Kind of a scar there. It's a big nut hickory. Hopefully it lives, produces hickories. We'll see. These two are black walnuts that I pollarded some years ago. And right here we're looking at, this is the second growth from when I pollarded it, and this is 2 years of the second growth. I'm going to be taking this out again this next winter, and all you're going to see here are two elevated stumps. I'm going to keep right on doing that. Looks like they pollard very well. Right here is a carnelian cherry, and it's grown some cherries even though I don't have a second one for as a pollinator. Another cherry up there. There's more. Now last year grew, I don't know, 10 cherries or something, and I planted the seeds and none of them came up. So maybe it'll still grow a few cherries, but because it's not pollinated, the seeds aren't viable. I don't know. They look like full seeds to me. I see a couple up here, and there's a pair of them together. I don't know if I've had a pair of them together before. So the tree is getting to be quite tall. Right there, you can see in the background, it's I'm gonna guess it's 15 feet tall. Got lots of branches. There's a kiwi growing in it, and I can access the top of that tree from my shed roof. so I won't have to get up on a ladder necessarily. This little tree here is a Brianna apricot. It was growing in the shade of a sour cherry, so it sent out these lateral branches. Looking for sunlight. We had a number of apricots on it last year, I think 6 of them or something like that, and then they disappeared, so I think the squirrel got them. So this year I'm going to bag them and spray them with hot pepper sauce. That should keep the squirrels out. I know there's 2 on this side, and I know there's some on the other side, but I don't know how many. So I'll tell you, if this thing really wants to fruit, there's a lot of branches here. It sent branches out in all directions underneath that cherry tree, and then the cherry tree got rotten and I cut it down. And now it's trying to send up some leads. You can see there's shooting up right there. There, right there. I might trim those off. Encourage it to keep energy to these lateral branches. This right here is an Arkansas black apple tree. I pruned it pretty heavy a couple of years ago. Responded very well. It's got lots of apples on it. We bagged them with disposable socks. It doesn't keep it totally pest free, but it minimizes it. And then this tree has a grapevine growing throughout the branches. And right here it's an Alden. And these are very large grapes. Delicious too. So I've got 2 crops coming out of one tree.